Hello everyone. I hope you are doing good and safe at your homes. So just an overview what I have covered so far in this migration series. So I hope you remember if you have seen my previous videos, we created the environment, created this whole environment and by using CloudFormation stock, which is another interesting concept, infrastructure as a code. So that will also help you to add another concept in your skills. So we deployed this whole infrastructure and accessed from bash nodes to all these servers, and then using Migration Hub, ADS, and Application Migration Service, we we discovered the data and then analyze the data in the Migration Hub and Athena. And later in the later part video, I created one server on Microsoft Azure and then migrated it to AWS Cloud. So I hope you have enjoyed those concepts and might be helpful in clarifying your concepts and any queries and you might have added more skills in more skills. So moving forward, just high level, we deployed the architecture, explored our environment, and installed the application discovery services agent and explored the data in Athena, ran various queries into Athena to explore the data. And then we started with workload migration and migrated all the environment from on-premises customer data center and AWS Azure to Microsoft Azure to AWS. So that's how we performed, migrated, and then launched test instance, performed cutover, shut down the source environment, updated the DNS, and then finalized the cutover. So that's how migration works in lift and shift approach. Also in the so this is the migrated reference architecture. We migrated all those on-premises servers onto instances of AWS EC2 instances. So migrated both the applications to AWS. So now in this video I am going to talk about database migration using AWS DMS. So in this, just a reference architecture. So currently, Off-Biz app is in the scope of this video. In this practical, so Off-Biz app and Off-Biz database. So this is Postgre database. So we will migrate this database, which is on EC2 instance. So we will migrate that database to AWS managed Aurora DB. So this is a sort of modernizing our infrastructure or re-platform. So you will get more clarity once we do that. So, but if we talk theoretically into it, so now we have in my previous videos, we discussed how we migrated the infrastructure from on-premises to AWS in lift and shift approach. So lift and shift. So in this, once we are moved to AWS, we tested everything. Everything is working fine, same as on premises. But later on, to leverage the AWS cloud benefits, we need to modernize the infrastructure also. So as a part of modernize, we will migrate the database that is running on EC2 instance to AWS managed database, so that we need not to worry about operations of DB, the high availability of DB, backup of database. So all those things that can be taken care by AWS managed services. So in this practical, I'm going to cover these things, and you will get to know what all steps are there in. So if we talk about various steps, then these are the steps that are there. So far we have migrated the workload. So as a part of modernize and optimize, we are performing this practical. So in this, we will create Aurora database for the source database to be migrated, on which we will migrate of Biz DB to Aurora DB. So we need to create one target database also. Then we will launch a DMS replication instance, configure endpoints for source and target, then replicating database using DMS replication tasks. Then we will update the DNS entries for application server to communicate with hosted database. Then we will shut down the database that is running on EC2 instances, and application will start using the database on AWS managed database. So these after that we will clean up the resources. So once your demo is complete, so don't forget to clean your resources. So that's the basic steps in this. So this is the reference architecture. So once migration is done, so then at the later stage, this off-viz app will start using the Aurora DB. So migrated off-viz app EC2 and database has been migrated to AWS managed DB service. So using DMS service. So using our DMS service, we will migrate the database from EC2 instance to AWS Aurora DB. So that's high level what I'm going to cover in this. And the application that I am referring to is, so I hope you remember this is our Bastion host. So in this I have accessed this Office DB. So if we log in into this, so password is admin and Office. So this is our application that is running on EC2 instances with database. So just for testing purposes, whatever we have created on this, we can find that. So if we go to my profile, so these are the users that are created. So maybe we can create one new user, and we will see that same user will be there on the AWS managed database. So just for testing purpose, whether everything is getting migrated or not. So we can create one new user. So user like login ID migration DB demo, we can keep that name. So password, you can keep anything. Okay, so let's save. So cancel and done. So our migration DB demo user has been created. So we can see the same once database is migrated. So let's, as of now, log out from this application. So let's move forward to our okay, so I'm into Amazon RDS console. So let's create our database and see the practical of the things. So click on create database. So here use standard, and we are going to use Amazon Aurora. And so all the settings that are there in this, so I have mentioned all those settings in this document. So please create the database and keep the settings same, so that you should not face any problem at the later stage. So very important thing. So I'll make you aware about all these settings. So let's go to, so this is our RDS console. So here I have mentioned all those settings. So single master, so selected Amazon Aurora. Okay guys, so here you need to select all the settings very carefully. So I have mentioned all those details in our command line commands notepad or link that I'll mentioned. So here select Amazon Aurora, and then select the second option, Amazon Aurora PostgreSQL compatible edition, because our source database is PostgreSQL. So capacity keep a default, and available versions keep it default. Also templates, we are going to use dev test. So DB identifier mid of Wiz, and username of Wiz, and password you can keep admin123 admin123. So in DB instances, select burstable classes and DB T3 medium. So availability and durability, so this is demo, so don't create an Aurora replica. So connectivity part, so in connectivity select target VPC. Subnet group, either you may get new to create a new also, or you can create your own also. So whatever it is by default, you can select that. So by default, it should be like create a new one. So public access not required. VPC security group, we are selecting target security group. Availability zone in 2A and additional port, so 5432 port. So rest keep everything default. So here uncheck all these things like encryption is not enabled, and enable performance insights. You can disable that, and monitoring is not required. Maintenance, so you can keep this default. So let's click on create database. Our Aurora PostgreSQL database is ready. So this takes some time, like 5-10 minutes to get ready. So once this is ready, you can move to next step. So next step is we need to check the connectivity from our endpoint. So let's copy this our endpoint and use it. So the next step is that we need to log into our offbase DB. So I have taken the IP address of offDB instance that is running on EC2 instance. So we need to run these commands on offbase DB to create the database and create login into the database. So let's go to our database. So here I am logged into our offbase DB that is running on EC2 instance. So make sure you run all those commands and create the database. So I run this command, then put the password. I ran this command and then put the password admin123. Then after we are logged into the database, then I created this database on this offbase DB database. So very important, don't miss this step. So let's get back to our next step. So our database is ready. So let's start configurations for migration. So let's go to our database migration service. Database migration service. So here our next step is, if we go to our commands, so here we need to create a subnet group for migration. So keep all these settings same as those ones. So by logging into DMS, click subnet groups. So let's click on subnet groups and create subnet group. So here just ensure that you need to keep all these same one. So let's copy these. Subnet group name, okay, description, migration immersion day, subnet group. So VPC we need to select target and then add subnets. So let's add subnets. So select target Aurora 1 that contains target private. So just to ensure that we are selecting all those settings. So name, description, you can make it as per your own. So VPC here we are selecting the target one. So just ensure that we are setting making correct configuration so that we should not face the problem. So in subnets I have added target private and target Aurora. So click on create subnet. So our subnet has been created. So let's move to next step. So next step is click on replication instances. So next step is to create a replication instance. So here again we need to create an instance that will be used for replication. So click on create replication instance. So here just ensure that you are using the correct configurations. So I'll make you aware, I have mentioned all those settings in the command line also. So command line helpful book. So from there you can copy all those settings. So just copy paste the commands that are there, all those settings that are there in the node document. So all those settings should be there. So here it's T3. So if we go to our console, so here name this one. So description, you can keep it as per your understanding. So instance class DMS T3 medium. So let's keep all these are default settings. So our location storage. So in VPC, just ensure to select VPC target, and multi-AZ keep it default, uncheck publicly accessible. So replication subnet group off with subnet group that was created before. Availability zone 2A and security group are target security group. So rest keep default and click on create. So failover setting, you can dev or test single AZ. So click on create. So this will take some time to create. So for the time being, I'll pause this video. So since there are a lot of things that take time, so that's why I need to pause the video so that it do not get lengthy. So I'll resume it once this is ready. Okay, our replication instance is ready. So now we need to define the source and destination, source and target endpoints. So before defining that, let's go to our document. So here, next step is we need to define source and target endpoints in this. So before that, let's go to our DB on premises DB and get the private IP of that. So if we go to our instances, EC2 instances, so let's find the Office DB on premises instance. Yes. So these are the instances that are running. So and these are the on premises one. So we can shut down that later also. So most of them are shut down. So these are the 4 instances C5 that are running on AWS. So we are concentrating on these. So currently the instances that are in scope are Office DB and Office on web on premises. So just to make it clear, so for on premises DB, let's write down the private IP. So let's write down that in our IP address. So let's get back to DBS and create the endpoints. So let's get back to database migration service. And so here we need to click on create endpoints and select create endpoint. So click on this. So here first we need to select the source and then select the target endpoint. So let me make these settings and then I'll make you aware about that. So follow all these instructions that are there in the document. So here select source endpoint. This needs to be unchecked, and identifier source of biz, so that application that is in the scope. So source engine, select PostgreSQL. So we are concentrating on PostgreSQL database. And access to endpoint, select provide access information manually. So server name, put the IP address that we just copied, port 5432, username of Wiz, and password that we kept during our database, admin123, database name of Wiz, and go to test endpoint connection. So here select VPC target and replication instance, this one. So and click run test. So this test should run successfully before creating the endpoint. So this test will take some time to run the test. So will show testing status successful. So once this is done, so it is running the test, and let's wait for some time. So let me pause the video. Okay, after like 1 or 2 minutes, this was successful. So status is successful. So until it's not successful, do not create the endpoint. So click on create endpoint. So our endpoint is created now. So now we need to create the target one. So click on create endpoint, select target. So let me get the settings for that also. So now we need to create target endpoint. So I have mentioned all those commands to create the target endpoint. So keep all those settings same while creating it. So I'll make you aware about the settings in this GUI also. So select target endpoint, select RDS database instance. So RDS instance by default is selected. So identifier target of biz and target engine by default, they have selected PostgreSQL, and let's provide the access. So these all gets populated automatically. So only you need to mention the username, the password, admin123, database name of Wiz, and let's go to test endpoint connection target VPC target replication instance made the of Wiz replication instance that was created. So let's click on run test. So it's doing the test. So let me pause the video until it's successful. Okay, our connection is successful now. Let's create endpoint. So our target of Wiz is created and source is created. So let's move to next step. Okay, I'm into AWS DMS. So our next step is creation of database migration task. So here we need to create the task, and as per our document that I've created for this. So we need to create and monitor the task. So this is all where work happens. So we need to specify tables and schemas that will be migrated. So such as login requirements, control, table data, and error handling. So we have to create all these this migration task. So let's create on create task. So here we need to put all those settings that I have mentioned in this document. So you can use all those settings. So let me make the settings and then I'll make you aware about all these settings. So go to the DMS and then click on database migration task. So click create tasks. So we need to put all these settings in this. So guys, as per the commands that I have mentioned in the document, so create all those. So task identifier, mention the name. So replication instance, select the replication instance that we created in our previous step. Source database endpoints. So you remember the endpoints that we created, source of Wiz, and target endpoint, target of Wiz, migration, existing data. So select this. So task settings wizard. So keep this default only. So keep this default, and then table mappings. So this is quite important. So select wizard, schema, enter schema, put percentage sign, schema name, and table name. So after this, click create task. So click on create task. So this will create the task, and this will take some time. So this is now copying the database. So creating a task, and then this will migrate the database. So this will take some time. So for the time being, I'll pause this video. So this is still running, and the database is being migrated. So it's 96%. So I hope this will complete in like 5-10 minutes it takes to complete. So let's wait for it. Okay, so our load is complete and our database has been migrated. So we can see it's 100% progress. So the now next step is that we need to update the settings on the source database, so that we can redirect towards new database. Okay, so let's move to our command lines. So the next step is shut down the source server and update the DNS. Now we will go to our off-base DB and then update the settings in that. So let's go to our database that is running on the EC2 instance. So if we go to our Bastion host, so let me copy the command. So let's copy this command. So currently it's towards the off-base DB, and that is 10.0.1.1.58. So current the database that is running on this. So let's update the DNS records so that this can point to towards the AWS managed database. So let's move forward and let's update the ADDR. So using this will be pointed towards. So I hope you remember this endpoint that we copied in the start of creating of this database. So let's copy this and paste it. So this has been updated. So let's run this DNS commands so that database can point to AWS database. Yes, that's done. So our application is running. So if we see, so now if we see is complete. So if we see our NS lookup for database, so this will be pointed towards. Yes, now you can see that previously, so this is the difference in this. So if you see that previously when we ran NS lookup for our database, so this was pointing towards our database that is on the EC2 instance. So now if we go to go down, so let me increase the size of this one. Sorry. Yes. So here you can see the difference. So here previously when we take a look at this command, so we got this output. So it was pointing towards the database on the on EC2 instance. So now when we ran again this command ns lookup for this database, so now we are getting that it's being pointed towards database that is running on AWS after updating the database on the after updating the DNS settings. So now database is being pointed towards AWS. All the database has been migrated from EC2 instance to AWS managed Aurora database. So also let's check our application. Let's log into the application. So this is our application that is running. So let's log in into this of Viz. Password is let me get it from the file. So I have mentioned admin and password is of Viz. So let's go to this. Admin password is of Viz. So yes, we can successfully log in into this. So if we go to my profile, so yes, the user that we created migration DB demo is still there. So we can see that all the database has been migrated. So that was just for demo purpose. And we can verify that now data is being pointed towards our new database, and we are successfully using this. So I hope you got the concept. So I'll update this sheet and for your reference. So our database is running and we have successfully migrated the database. So if we go to our presentation, so now previously this was the scenario of this database of this application. So this is the application that is in scope for database migration. So previously this app was connected to this database. So now we are using database migration service. We have migrated this database towards AWS managed database. So if we move forward, so this has been migrated. So now of this app is connected towards AWS Aurora DB. So I hope that helps to clarify your concept of database migration. Very important concept. So just to make sure that use all the settings that I have mentioned in the document, don't miss any setting, else you will get the errors. So I hope I have clarified each and everything. In case you still face any problem, don't hesitate to ping me. I'll be there to help you out. So that was it for this part. And if you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel also. And in case you have any problem, you can ping me on this email ID. So that's all for this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.